Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 144th episode of Don't Forget the Popcorn. It's spooky season, and I told y'all we're going to be getting spooky for the rest of the month. And today we are doing a request from my boy, Marlon Bellamy. Today we are talking about 1987. The Lost Boys, directed by Joel Schumacher. So, guys, do me a favor, like and subscribe for a guy. Send this video to all your friends who like this movie. Follow me on Letterboxd Ralph Vader. It's linked below. Now, let's get into The Lost Boys. Now, if you clicked on this video, I'm going to assume you've seen this movie. So I'm not going to be going over it scene by scene or anything like that, but there will be some spoilers as we discuss it. So let's talk about the cast, bro. First things first, this movie has an incredible cast, incredible 80s cast. This thing is led by Jason Patric, who this is probably his most famous role. I honestly love him in Entourage. He plays a guest spot in a few episodes. It's really funny. But he plays Michael, our lead here. We got Kiefer Sutherland playing kind of the antagonistic kind of role here. The Coreys, always great in an 80s movies. Corey Haim and Corey Feldman. Corey Haim playing the brother of Michael, and Corey Feldman playing one of the vampire hunters that works at the comic book store. We have billionaire Playgirl philanthropist Jamie Gertz. Yes, Jamie Gertz, who plays Star, is a billionaire. She is one of the richest actors. She owns the Atlanta Hawks basketball team. Alex Winter plays Marco. We have the lovely, beautiful, great Diane Wiest playing Lucy as the mom, who is probably my least favorite character. I'm just going to put that out there right now. And Edward Herman as Max. So, this cast is great. We all know and love these guys. If you're a fan of 80s movies, all of these people in this movie are probably staples in your household. But what is The Lost Boys about? Okay, like I said, if you clicked on this video, you have probably seen it. So we all know Lost Boys is the vampire version of Peter Pan. There's a lot of Peter Pan parallels to this movie. This movie is about a single mom and her two boys. They moved to, I think it's Santa Cruz, California, to live with her father after things go wrong with her marriage. I'm gonna keep it real. I don't remember if the husband died or if they got divorced. I think he died, but they move in with the grandfather so he can help them out. And of course, this movie is beautiful and drift in 80s style. I mean, it's got the great soundtrack. We open this movie up with a People Are Strange cover, and the original version from The Doors is one of my favorite songs. And I mean, come on, we see the beach, people having fun, surfing, skating, all the things that make California, California. Girls in bikinis, the sun is shining, everybody's having a good time. Everybody seems to be enjoying the summer, man. And summer in the 80s, at least in movies, I wasn't around, but summer in the 80s in the movies just looks absolutely amazing. It looks so fun. People aren't stuck on their phones. People aren't stuck on screens. People aren't worried about this crazy stuff. People just seem to be enjoying and living their best lives. And I think this movie captures that beautifully for an atmospheric vibe, a fun 80s coming of age vibe, where you see these teens hanging out, going out to the carnival every night, going to the boardwalk, riding bikes, going out exploring and just living life. And that is one of the best aspects of this movie, is the intro scene when you see these guys coming in to go to the grandfather's house, and they're discussing everything that's going on. So you got Michael, the angsty teen who's moving to a new place. Leaving behind your friends and starting a new life can be tough as a teenager, and I know this from personal experience. I've moved to different states as a kid and had to start over with friends, and it builds you. It does make you stronger, and it does make you more adaptable in settings. And I must say that, of course I was angry about it when I was younger, but now that I'm older, I will say these experiences have made me a more well-rounded person. Now, having said all that, as a kid, it's the worst effing thing you could ever go through, man. You're leaving your friends behind and you got to start a whole new way of life. And Michael, though, I think he should have been optimistic, though, because Dude, this place looks awesome, man. This looks like a great place to grow up. Grandpa's house is dope as hell. It's an old house, but it's a fun house. He's got all this cool stuff. The rooms are really cool. Man, it's such a vibe in this house, man. Where they live, it is a vibe. I'm like, man, growing up here looks like freaking paradise. But of course, everything can't be glitters and gold. Just like Grandpa says at the end of the movie, in one of my favorite lines of the movies, worst part about Santa Cruz, all the damn vampires. Yes, this is a vampire movie, and yes, this is one of the best. I did a best vampires movies of all time list, maybe like 2 years ago or a year and a half or something like that. And I believe The Lost Boys clocked in at like number 7 or 8. So I already have a love for this movie, and we already know this is a great vampire movie. So Michael, as we know, Michael is angry, he's upset, he's not happy with his new situation, but Michael has to go out and figure things out. Michael likes to ride bikes and stuff like that. Michael goes out to the boardwalk and sees how fun the nightlife is here. I mean, we got bands playing. This is a Joel Schumacher movie who is gay, and so we got an oiled up, muscly guy playing like a trombone, and he's doing these very sensual dances. It's really funny, but you know, if you know Joel Schumacher, it makes sense. I mean, the dude did direct Batman and Robin. So, but Michael meets Star, and Star. Star is a star is a star. Star is gorgeous. Star is fun and sweet. And of course, Michael instantly takes a liking to her like anyone would. And he's realizing, you know what? This world may not be that bad. But of course, it's just like the Karate Kid or anything else. When the new kid, you move to California in the 80s, the new kid always got to get hazed one way or another by the tough guy, you know. And of course, the tough guy is dating the girl you want. You know, that's such a trope in 80s films, but it's always a fun one. And you know, this movie's no different. But I mean, in this instance, though, David, the leader of the gang that Star runs with, we're just going to put it out there. These guys are freaking vampires, all right? And vampires know how to have fun. These guys ride bikes, they smoke cigarettes, they eat Chinese food, which is funny because the vampires in this movie, they follow a different, they have their own sets of tropes. They still go by, they must be invited in somewhere, and they still, you know, they don't do wooden stakes, you know. But garlic doesn't seem to affect these vampires. And these vampires can seem to eat regular food. And this is a weird one because in this movie, you don't have to be bitten to become a vampire. You just need to drink the blood of one. And we get a fun scene when Michael is kind of being hazed and initiated by the homies, the crew, essentially Peter Pan and the Lost Boys. They have this Peter Pan moment where they all hang from the bridge and let go, and that's a really fun scene. And you see Michael developing some friendships with these guys. You know, it feels really weird, but it feels really fun. And I can easily see how Michael could get caught up in the trap. I mean, these guys are kind of living the life Michael wants. They do what they want. They're rebels. They don't answer to anyone. They live by their own rules, and they're people of the night. And this is all a very attractive lifestyle. And just like most vampire lore, vampires are very attractive. And not necessarily in the sense of they're physical, but in the sense of how they draw you into them, and you want to be around them, and you want to know more about them. They have this mysterious vibe, this sexy vibe. And, you know, I ain't gonna sit here and say Kiefer Sutherland was like this hunk, but I've heard plenty of women say that there was something attractive about Kiefer Sutherland in this movie because he's not typically a guy that people, you know, he's not Brad Pitt, you know, we're not talking about Louis Massette, but women in particular, they did like Kiefer Sutherland in this movie. And I think that goes to say there's something about vampires and the atmosphere they bring. But Michael drinks this wine, and this wine isn't wine, it's their blood. And Michael, see, David and Michael have an interesting relationship because David's the leader of the pack, and Michael's the handsome new guy who David's girl is interested in. And I personally think David had a little bit of not just jealousy for Michael because obviously Star was interested, but I think he had his own little things going on for Michael. And I mean, given who the director is, I can't say this is out of the realms of reality. Now, you can sit here and say, oh, Dom, you're reaching, you're this, you're that, whatever. But I think that David had a slight little for Michael. And you can see it in certain scenes and the closeness they have and the way they look at each other. There's a little something going on under the surface there, I believe. And I think that also goes into vampire lore. Like, watch Interview with a Vampire. A lot of these vampires definitely feel like they can play on both teams. And that's one of the things about vampires. They're supposed to be sexy to all, like, gender can kind of be excluded from this in certain situations. But Michael and David's relationship is very interesting. It's this competitive, like, kind of hate for each other, but also this admiration for each other because on one hand, they both kind of don't like each other, but on the other hand, they both want each other to like each other. And they both are kind of vying for their respect, and they do develop a little bit of a friendship and a bond for a little bit before things go awry. And I think that's a really fun part of this movie. I think the vampires in this movie are very interesting, fun characters. They all have their own little personalities, but of course, like vampires, I love that they're like kind of 80s punk style. They're not these kind of like Dracula style old school vampires. They kind of fit the times, which I always love when vampires are up to date in films. And I think these guys are very up to date. These guys were just chilling. But one of the cool things about the way vampires work in this movie is Michael drinks the blood, like I said, but the blood doesn't fully make you a vampire. It gives you kind of the light effects and the light traits, but you don't become a vampire fully until you make your first kill and drink that blood of that kill. So Michael is resisting this because he's like, man, he doesn't want this. He didn't ask to be a vampire. He had no idea. And all the while, his little brother, played by Corey Haim, tremendously, honestly, probably the best character in this movie, he is figuring this stuff out. And of course, the Corey Feldman and the other dude, I'm sorry, I ain't got his name right now, they are all trying to figure out what's going on with Michael and these vampires, which is super fun. So this is a coming of age vampire story about an older teen, a younger teen, and the things they're going through while moving to this new place. And I mean, at the end of the day, that is what this movie's about. And the vampires are there to kind of navigate through the complexities of growing up and moving to a new place, and you kind of got to fight through and overcome certain things to enjoy the life. Now, I could be looking into this too much because this is just, in my opinion, a fun ass 80s vampire movie, 80s horror movie that you can just get down with. Some beautiful practical effects, especially when we get to the final scene. But I don't know, I just took it that way. But one thing I want to touch on real quick before I get into some of the really cool stuff about this movie and what makes this movie really, really legendary. Single motherhood. Diane Wiest, one of the most legendary actresses of all time. Absolutely love her. Couldn't stand her in this movie. I did a video about Poltergeist a couple weeks ago, and I talked about how bad the parents were in that movie. And let me tell you, Diane Wiest in this movie, she's really trying to play a close second to them because she's a single mom now. And one thing I don't like about this movie, and I think this can be attributed to the times, and one thing I can say this movie shows is throughout time, I think women have gotten much stronger, much more independent, and have learned how to navigate through these situations on their own a lot better. And this movie here, man, it really makes mothers look weak because Diane Wiest's character, she has no idea what to do with her boys. Her boys do what they want. They don't listen to her. They walk all over her. She thinks that she needs a man around. She falls for the first guy she meets, who happens to be the head vampire, by the way. She falls for the first guy she meets, and she's ready to throw it all away for this man. And It's just pathetic the way she pining for this guy that she barely knows. Her kids are trying to tell her, Mom, this guy is not who you think he is. And she's willing to do whatever to get the attention of this guy because you can tell she feels that the only way her life is going to be decent, the only way she can properly raise her sons is if she has a man around. And guess what? Honey, your dad is not going to let you fail. Her dad was there, and I'm pretty sure if he died, he probably left her the house. So you probably got somewhere to live. You don't need no man, girl. You can handle things on your own. But in the 80s, man, it was single mothers, especially in communities like hers, that wasn't really huge back then. And she was coming from, and I understand she's coming from a place where she probably had the rug pulled under her from the situation she was once in to the situation she's in now. But I just hate how weak this woman was and how quick she was willing to give in. And the main thing that nails this is the final showdown. The final showdown is the best part of this movie when we're all back at Granddad's house and all the vampires are going at it. We get Michael and David. They go at it crazy. We see the vampire killers plus his brother. They start going nuts on the vampires, throwing garlicky holy water on them, even though garlic don't work and they think it does. It's so funny. All the scenes with garlic. And man, the vibe of this final showdown is great. It's all red in the house. There's crazy score going on, and they're going at it. We see these vampires, full vampire form, practical effects, teeth out, skin looking crazy. These dudes are super fun. Great makeup job, great acting here, and great direction here. Incredible vampire showdown scene. Definitely one of the best vampire fight scenes in any movie. And it cannot be denied. But in this scene, we figure out Mama's boyfriend is the dude who we've been needing to kill all along. Because if you kill the head vampire, all the other vampires come back to normal. And so that is the goal of the team, so we can save Michael. And man, the head vampire comes out and he's like, listen, woman, I need a mom for my boys who are the Lost Boys, all these lost vampire souls. Those are like his children. She's like, I need a mama, and you gonna be my mama. And she don't fight it. She don't hesitate. She don't nothing. She was just about to give right into him, walk right in his arms, and just be like, hey, yep, no problem. Lady, can you at least throw a fist once? Damn, she wasn't willing to do nothing. She was just gonna lay down and die. Just gonna lay down, do whatever this man said. I'm like, Jesus, man, this woman's weak. I'm not gonna lie, I'd be sad to call this lady my mother if I was them. I'd be like, Mom, come on, help. Terrible. But this movie, man, it is littered with all the good stuff. Great performances. The Coreys are incredible in this movie. Rest in peace to Corey Haim. And I'm glad Corey Feldman is still alive. He's kicking, doing his thing. These guys have done some great movies together back in the 80s. My favorite probably being, besides this, probably being License to Drive. Absolutely great film. Corey Haim probably should have been in Stand By Me. He probably should have been in The Goonies. Like, it's kind of crazy he wasn't in more movies Corey Feldman was in, but those two are magic. And I mean, everything works about this movie. The score, the soundtrack, the actors, the acting, everyone looks the part. Like, when you watch this movie, you feel like you were put right in 1987. It is beautiful in that sense. I mean, it's got a lot of fun little themes that young people and older people can relate to, and a lot of themes that people have gone to. I can relate to this movie in a sense of being the new kid in town and trying to find your way and find friends and not, make yourself look like an idiot, but also trying to be a cool dude. So I get all that. This is a classic Halloween time movie that anyone can watch, have a great time with. It's not too deep, it's not too crazy. Absolutely love this movie. If you have not watched this recently, throw this on this Halloween season. I had a great time watching this. Thank you, Marlon, for requesting this, forcing me to watch it this Halloween season. So I'm going to give The Lost Boys an 8.7 out of 10. A must-see this Halloween season. Guys, thank you so much for watching my Lost Boys review. Let me know if there's a film or topic you'd like me to review this month. It's spooky only. Guys, do me a huge favor. Like and subscribe for a guy. It helps me out. We're going to try and hit 700 subs by the start of winter. I would appreciate that. Follow me on Letterboxd, Ralph Vader. That's linked below. I got a podcast with my buddy, The Cutting Room Floor. I'll link that below for more movie content. I will be back next week. And don't forget the popcorn.